The portion this week, Vayishlach, provides us a lesson in how to read the Torah and interpret it. Do we learn the lessons according to the rabbis of 1800 years ago and the medieval commentators, and learn the lessons that they thought that we should be learning from the portion? Or should we be learning something else entirely? Case in point is the example of when Jacob was about to meet Esau again and reunite after being apart for 20 years. They separated because Esau threatened to kill Jacob for having stolen the blessing from their father. Esau said out loud, "I want to kill my brother Jacob for doing this." And Jacob ran away, goes to his mother's homeland of Haran, marries Leah and Rachel, has 13 children, becomes quite wealthy in his own right, and 20 years have passed, and it's time to go back to the land of Israel to live out the covenant with God of inheriting the land of Israel. As he prepares to meet his brother, because he doesn't know whether his brother still has murderous intentions for him, he separates his camp into different places, putting the most important people in the back, with the idea that the further away from Esau, the more protected that they would be. So how do we explain the idea that Jacob is playing favorites with his family, putting least loved in front, most loved in back? And it's not the first time in this portion or in other portions in the Torah in which people are playing favorites with members of their own family. So the rabbis teach us that it's all about future destiny, and that the patriarchs and matriarchs are actually prophets in their own right, and they know what the future will hold generations later, and they're only acting in order to protect the future. So that's one way of understanding the Torah, that it's all a metaphor for future Jewish history. I would prefer to read it as a text that teaches us about human nature and teaches us about how to act in life. Common sense would tell us that we shouldn't play favorites with our children. We know that that could lead to disastrous results in family dynamics and future relationship. But of course, we also know that we don't always act according to common sense, that human nature sometimes takes over, and no matter how hard we try, we can't help but sometimes prefer one child over another. And so we learn from this Torah reading, Vayishlach, and others that are about to come up as we conclude the book of Genesis, what the disastrous results are of human nature. What happened in the life of Jacob, Rachel, and Leah and their family as a result of playing favorites. And that can teach us a lesson today as we struggle with parenthood ourselves and struggle with our relationships with our family, and learn how to overcome human nature and try to be as objective and as good as possible. The patriarchs struggled with it themselves. We struggle with it today, and I would prefer to read the Torah in that way as opposed to always reading it in the eyes of the rabbis. Shabbat Shalom.